Fatima, so you like playing games?
Hey, somebody better come get him before I do.
Well, folks, Hayden is back. Oh, excuse me, Hayden is back. And, well, after learning the truth about Tamara and her true intentions, her connections to Fatima and whatnot, the question is, what will Hayden do? He's already told, Gary that, look, he's going after Fatima full force. So a lot of people are instantly saying, oh, bad for Hayden. That's a bad move to mess with Fatima. And then from there, Madam will take care of him, because if I remember correctly, Madam straight up told Fatima, like, look, you need to let me handle this Karen girl the same way you should have let me handle that punk from your job. Because, she wanted to just off him instead of just have him beaten unconscious. The thing about it is, and look, Lord, please just go easy on me here. I'm not blaming Fatima, because it's like a domino effect. I feel like what's about to occur is cause and effect. Like the first domino fell, and that just caused the next one to tumble over. It's kind of like, just a game of ping pong or tennis. Like both Hayden and Fatima kept knocking the ball in the other direction to try to throw the other one off, and now it's about to explode. Fatima technically got this all started when she decided to have a one-night stand with Hayden. To be somewhat fair, I don't think she knew how just pathetic and possessive he was as a person, because apparently their mothers know each other from like church or something. So it's possible that Fatima and Hayden kind of either grew up together or knew each other growing up or something. I don't know. I mean, given his preppy, I'm better than everyone attitude, even though I'm kind of a wimp kind of personality, Hayden seems like the kind of person who, well, based on, him and looking at his, guess his mom mingling with Mona, I'm thinking that these two didn't really meet each other until like after Mona had gotten with Tony, and like Tony introduced her to like a new way of living outside like the gangster street crap Fatima's baby daddy, had her lifestyle based after. So I'm thinking that maybe when they were like high school or college or something, or, it's one of those things where maybe they didn't go to school together, but maybe, when Fatima went to church with her mom, Hayden also went with his mom, and that's how they kind of met, that kind of thing. And then they ended up working together at the same law firm. I'm not saying that Hayden got Fatima a job at the law firm, but maybe Hayden's mom passed that information along. Hey, my baby got a job at this law firm in town. Oh, he's doing a great job. I'm so proud of him. Well, my Fatima, she wants to study law as well. I wonder if she can get a job there too. Because moms talk like that. So, it's quite possible. But in any case, so these two have their one night stand. Fatima, said we had sex, we were drunk or whatever, and he was small and whatnot. But then after that, Hayden just started hating, and he became kind of possessive, like any guy that I think like Zach might have been like the first guy that he got really pissed off about, because after the whole what's his name, Ian thing, Fatima just dated around. So I'm guessing that Hayden was someone from after Ian, like where she was just sleeping with whoever and not gaining any sort of like feelings or attachment to one guy because of her heartbreak. But Hayden was the first one who like stuck to the bottom of her shoe like gum, and she couldn't get rid of him. So we know that Hayden tried and failed a number of times to ruin Zach's life. And as a result of that, that led to Fatima, fighting back with the brass knuckles and getting Madam's crew to beat him up. Then from there, thinking that he was the one that got Zach arrested when it was actually Heather. And then she used the baseball bat to tear up his ride and tear up his house. And then he got her arrested. And from there, it's kind of like just a constant back and forth between the two. And then I think like the last big thing was when Hayden tried to, not just expose Zach through the stocks and whatnot, but representing Heather in a battle for child support to take Zach. It's like, well, hey, if I can't get the feds to bring down your little boyfriend, let's use a baby mama to take away all that money. So that was his plan there. But then that's when Fatima set it straight. Like, okay, you know what? Bump this. Tamara, go in there, handle this guy, pretend like you're super jealous and get him to not represent Heather. And basically just keep an eye on him and his schemes, keep him distracted. And then, let me know if you find out anything. So yeah, Fatima left the plant. And from there, that kept Hayden distracted. But the thing is, Tamara started to get a bit greedy and go off script. Remember, her whole thing was, so how am I getting paid? What do you mean payment? Is he buying you gifts? Is he taking you places? Are you basically living it up? Yeah. Well, that's your payment right there. But then Tamara started to get greedy. Remember Hayden's like, oh, Hayden's going to give me a job here at the law firm. Don't you take no job at this law firm. Hell, I'm going to sign this application. Hayden, we got married. Man, you weren't supposed to take it this far. So basically, Fatima was the one that dug the hole, planted the seeds, and then let the plant grow. But instead of rose with thorns, because every rose has its thorns, it turns out she what's it called, an invasive species, when a foreign object or life form enters another environment and takes over from the current inhabitants of a habitat. That's kind of like, she thought she was getting a rose and actually it's a bunch of weeds, no pun intended. And that's what Tamara is. It's like, no. I'm getting mine. It's not, I'm not going to just take this punk for a little bit. I'm taking him for everything. So basically, Tamara's gone off script. She's gone rogue. And Fatima's like, you know what? I didn't want you to do all this. You know what? Do what you want to. I don't care. That was her mistake, because yes, you did distract Hayden, but at the same time, you didn't think about what would happen if Tamara got found out. Because obviously Fatima didn't know that Gary was going to do all he did with the PI and find out who she really was and vet her. She didn't know any of that. She just knew that Tamara was doing such a good job that Hayden married her. So it's quite obvious he isn't going to look into Tamara more than what he did. So I think that's what makes this Fatima's fault. Hear me out. Go back to the beginning. What did I say? The one night stand with Hayden. Fatima probably didn't know how crazy possessive this dude was, and that he would actively try to ruin the life of any guy that she showed interest in. But folks, think of it this way. Zach had that emotional, sexual moment with Karen in her shop in the office in season 2. Now, we still don't know if he actually finished or not, and if that's his kid that she's carrying in her stomach. But regardless, Karen thinks it's his kid, even though she's probably been told multiple times by doctors that he's not the father. Yet she's constantly been a thorn in both of their sides. So that's why I said, why is everybody giving Zach needs to put Karen in her place? And I'm like, well, think about Fatima. She was the one. She's the reason Hayden keeps coming after Zach. So it's like, why are y'all not giving her as much of a hard time, So in a way, this is Fatima's fault. I'm not saying Hayden didn't deserve what Fatima did to him, outside of the whole baseball bat thing, because she clearly did that based off her thinking and assuming Hayden was the one that got Zach arrested. Given his track record, I don't blame her, but I don't think it was a smart move. But basically, yeah, it's like, Fatima, whatever Hayden does, you kind of had it coming, because you're the one who left Tamara go in her rogue state. It's like the moment that Tamara went off script, that's when you should have called your cousin to get this heifer in line, So if Hayden does try to go at her full force, she had it coming. But again, that's not to say Hayden didn't have this coming in the first place, because he was the one that keeps trying to ruin their lives. So it's pretty much like, what's that saying? If you live by the motto, an eye for an eye, everybody's going to end up blind. We got Hayden, who was blinded by love, and now he's blinded by rage. And then he's going to try to retaliate and catch Fatima on the blind side. But technically he's not, because he's going to roll up to her and Zach in the next episode. So that's stupid. But yeah, I think this is not going to end well for either side. So much for my potential theory about Tamara falling for Hayden, since, you know, this revelation came so soon. So I guess we're not going to have to worry about the whole 6 months of her not signing any documents and then taking Hayden for half. He's probably going to shut this shit down immediately. So what do you think? Do you think Fatima's going to call Madam to finally squash this? How do you think things are going to play out? I am very intrigued to know, what do you think will happen once things have been when the smoke clears? How do you think Hayden's going to get back at Fatima? Do you think he's going to kick Tamara to the curb? What's going down? So like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and I'll catch you in the next video.